No money involved.
No money involved.
That's right. It's all legal. Well, that's good. Heritage Days, and it's not going to compete with old miners.
No, it's
I mean, this is more of the ranchers, the cowboys, cowgirls, history. That's right. Yeah. That's good. I can't wait. This is the first annual, and they hope to build it into a week or in 2 weeks. And
yeah, I think they're foreseeing possible another little old miner days becoming, you know, like the Heritage Days becoming like old miner days.
Yeah, right.
Extending it out and doing it annually. So
yeah,
we're really pleased, and we really appreciate what they do for the Historical Society.
I know they're gonna make some money. You always need money out there, even though everybody's a volunteer.
Right.
You really need for upkeep and everything.
Well, and it was so great. When we were open today, we had people all the way from Las Vegas and San Diego on vacations. And they said they were only going to be about a half hour at the museum, and they stayed for 2 hours. They're just in awe of the history of Big Bear.
Hey, you can't browse through it in a half hour anymore.
By Kim and Tim, they've done such an incredible job.
Well, we couldn't do it without her, so.
Don't applaud, just send money. That's all they want.
That's right.
Just get the money in, they can do more work.
Yeah, but we do appreciate all the Valley support, and you coming to our events and stuff means a lot. We appreciate that.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Okay, well, and happy anniversary to Ruth. I tell you, that's great.
Today, we are really very excited about Heritage Days. This has been a dream of ours since we first got here in 2001. And 4 years later, we're finally actually pulling it together and making it happen. So, and Anthony's going to chat a little bit more about that. But I did want to take a moment, just real quick, to thank some of our sponsors that have come on board to help make Heritage Days happen. And that would be Riffenberg Lumber Company, Anheuser-Busch, Northwoods Resort, Big Bear Cool Cabins, Legacy Phone Directories, and I think I got everyone. Oh, KBHR Radio and the Grizzly as well. So we are very thankful to everybody for coming on board. I'm going to let Anthony chat for a few minutes, and then I'm going to have Kim and Tim Sweet from the Historical Society come up as well. I wanted to thank Josh again for coming up.
Thank you. Thank you once again to everyone for making the trip up here. We certainly really appreciate it. As Monica said, we're very excited about this event. It's not only this, well, you saw a lot of things today. You're out in Holcomb Valley, you're at the museum, and it's the kind of thing as you're driving home tonight. Just think what it would have been like. Not coming up here in vehicles, but coming out here in a wagon with everything you own in it. Establishing a business with no support from anyone except your neighbors and whoever else was out here. They went through a lot of tough times, a lot of challenges. It's really something that's very impressive. And part of what we celebrate is not only the past, but the spirit that these people had in their hearts and what it took to accomplish these things. And when you talk to a lot of people, they say this is a vanishing way of life. But I can tell you that this way of life is alive and well in the small valley of Big Bear Lake. That is for certain. Because this event, unlike some others, there is no city funding, there is no taxpayer dollars being used. It is being produced and paid for by families, by merchants, by people who don't want to see this way of life extinguished. It really is a magical thing. And on that note, I'd like to say welcome to our Los Vaqueros friends over there, to the folks from the museum, and to everyone who believes that these are important values. And just a quick real quick story here, and then I'd like to hand it off to Kim. The other day, I had back in my office, I've got a lot of different things on my wall, one of which is something that's called the Cowboy Code. And I had a delivery driver in there, and I was filling out his check, and we were chatting a little bit, and when I finished writing the check, he turned around and he was reading the code on the wall. And I just sat there and let him finish. And when he got done, he looked at me and said, "This shouldn't just be a cowboy code. This should be the code everybody should live by." And so it's that spirit, it's these ideals that we're making sure stay alive here. Kim, come on down.
Is the president of the Historical Society.
This is Kim Sweet, co-curator of the Historical Museum.
We really want to thank you guys so much for doing this and pursuing it and starting a new tradition that we hope will be annually and a success. And we really appreciate all you guys coming up from near and far to support this cause. And I think that it's going to be a phenomenal success. And we're looking forward to having the Heritage Days continue years to come. And we appreciate our local press as well, Sarah and Ron and everybody else that works in the Big Bear industry. We appreciate everybody's support. And we appreciate you coming and supporting the museum. And thank you so much for everything that you guys do. The Valley is so much better off with you guys here. And we thank you very much from the bottom of our heart. Thank you.
Enjoy and have a good time.
And if you have any questions, you can ask us. You can talk to the folks at the museum. I did want to introduce one special person that we have with us this evening, is Ruth Core. I'm not sure how many of you know, but Tom Core was the ultimate historian for Big Bear. He was truly the keeper of all the history up here and all of our heritage. And Ruth is still is with us, and we really appreciate her support. And we're very happy to have her here tonight. And if you have any questions for Ruth, pop on over and say hello. Okay.
Treasures in all of Southern California. Yeah, she said that it was just phenomenal.
Boy, that just gives you chills up and down your spine, you know? And that makes everything all worth it.
Yep.
The whole thing.
Now, what are you talking about?
We're talking about
All the work.
the historic museum.
I know
All the
it.
hard work.
And we're talking about people that come up to us on the street and say what a phenomenal little mom and pop museum has grown into such a big, giant, little hidden museum.
I know it.
And it's...
We had a family with 3 children tonight before we closed up. And he was there for probably a couple hours. And they were gold panning, and I told him where the gold little pockets are in